Yep, welcome back, guys. Good to
Yeah,
be
welcome
back.
back. It's been an exciting few months since we last got to talk, and there's a lot to cover, a lot to get into. So Natalia, what have you been up to?
I've been reading more comics than playing anything else, and I've been reading a lot of the original Amazing Spider-Man run from like the '60s, like really getting into like Stan Lee's. Like his scripts are hilarious. They're like really funny. I guess it's kind of dated because I'm not used to it being so wordy and him like apologizing for like romantic parts of certain issues and then being like, oh, let's get back to the web slinging fun. So it's really ridiculous to actually read, but it's really cool. I'm not catching up on a lot of Spider-Man like history that I jumbled as a kid and mixed some stuff up. So I'm getting some good facts, which is pretty sweet. But besides that, I'm still reading New 52 like crazy. I don't know if you've gotten to read Future's End yet or
Not yet.
anything.
I plan on it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's pretty cool. It's a really good side story. There's a lot of controversy and crazy things that came out in comics recently. Like a lot of people upset that Dick Grayson has his own comic book now and he's no longer Nightwing. I'm not,
I haven't read Grayson yet, but I'm thrilled about that. I think that's awesome.
I agree. Like I don't think it's the end of the world. I think it's actually going to play out really well. It really him like giving up the Nightwing mantle really worked well in the Forever Evil series. So I think it's really good that it came from there. But besides that, Mike, I want to ask you, what do you think of all the big major announcements that Marvel came out recently, with Thor being a woman and good old Falcon becoming Captain America?
Well, I always think these things are cool. And first of all, even though those two announcements came as a shock to a lot of people, they just seem the way Marvel is today that this seems like the natural progression for them. The way they introduced the new Miss Marvel, who is a Middle Eastern woman, and the fact they're just trying to make sure as many people as possible can relate to their characters, and that stuff is cool. I had a few concerns at first. I think having a female Thor is gonna be sick, but I'm just curious. You know, she's gonna be the definitive Thor, and I just obviously she's gonna wield Mjolnir. She's gonna have the hammer, but Thor is Thor's name. It's also like I'm curious how they're gonna build that story about how she inherits not only his hammer but his name and all that. And Sam Wilson as Captain America, I think that makes total sense. If correct me if I'm wrong, the story is that Steve Rogers got the super serum sucked out of him.
Yeah, something like that. I haven't read it yet. I'm like waiting to get like a complete trade. But I think from what I read, either the super soldier serum like got sucked out of him, or after a while it finally dissipated out of his bloodstream, like it was all used up. All I know is that he's super old now. Like he's
Yeah.
old.
See, that excites me more so for Steve Rogers. Like, I'm curious to actually experience the Steve Rogers story, him as just a normal person. Um, and we got a taste of what that could be like in the House of M spinoff, where there was that one shot where he becomes an astronaut, and if he was never frozen, basically, he just grows old. Um, so that I'm actually really interested in. And Sam Wilson, I mean, I feel like few people know Cap better than the Falcon than Sam Wilson. So I think he's a good character to take that mantle.
I think it's actually really good that Sam Wilson's taking the mantle because I don't read that many Captain America books, but I obviously read the Winter Soldier Brubaker run, and before that, I never really cared for the character Falcon. His outfit was kind of discotheque cheesy. Didn't really care for him. But after that Brubaker run, he was a really awesome character, and the fact that he's going to be the new Captain America, I'm really excited for it. And the costume's okay. I do like the fact that he's still keeping his wings,
Mm.
which I think is pretty sweet, plus the addition of the shield. So we'll see how it works. When it comes to female Thor, I'm pretty indifferent. I don't really read the Thor books. I don't know how popular Thor is,
Mm.
outside of the movies. I don't know how well he does in print, but either he's not doing so well in print, so they decided to spice things up and turn it into a woman and maybe get some, controversy and some extra copies, being sold. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's the case or not, but I don't think either option or either decision they made is going to really like harm them in any way, shape, or form. Someone's going to pick it up and read it.
Yeah, I'm still excited for everything they do. I think they proved with Superior Spider-Man that they can take these crazy risks and they're gonna pay off. So I have faith in them for the time being.
Yeah, but it always depends on the writers. Like Superior Spider-Man could have been a complete flop if it wasn't Dan
Yeah,
Slott. So,
it's very true. Yeah, very very interesting times in comics. Gender swapping, race swapping. Soon we'll probably have label swapping. Well, DC characters popping up in Marvel comics. Who knows? Um,
that'd be nuts.
yeah, I mean, there's been crossovers before, but I'm holding out for another one. But what I really, really am excited to talk to you, Natal, about is Evo 2014.
Yes.
Obviously Evo for you and I is like the Super Bowl. It's like the World Cup. You know, it's the big event we all look forward to, and there's always a lot to talk about. What were some of your highlights from the tournament?
I would have to say watching a good extensive amount of the new Persona 4 Arena that's coming out. That was interesting to watch. Blaze Blue was awesome.
Yes.
That was really good. Watching the Injustice Grand Finals, or all of the top 8 of Injustice, and having Sonic Fox win made me really hype with the Batgirl. Uh, a lot. The one last big one was Justin Wong, winning Marvel, and them calling it like saying the Return of the King and everything like that. It was fun. I think the top 8 was a lot of top players. It was both like past Evo champions in there too. Flocker and F Champ. Chris G took second, I believe. Yeah, he was in grand finals against Justin Wong, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he took second, so that's the best he's done so far, in Evo. Before he did third and fifth. But I have to say, Marvel was the best. I didn't get to watch all of Street Fighter because it came on so late that I just passed out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still catching up in Evo matches because there was just so much sick action across every game. But I think you and I have a lot of the same favorite moments. Like for the most part, have zero interest in Blaze Blue, and I decided to put the finals on Sunday morning because that's the first thing that was on. And just oh my god, the level of play. Galileo, just that his amazing comebacks, the fact that he was able to turn grand finals around, win that tournament. It was a really emotional moment. It really made me interested in that game. I knew how skillful it was, but to see it at the Evo Grand Finals, on the world stage like that, was really awesome. So definitely huge shout out to the whole Blaze Blue community because they are dedicated to that game. And
Anything else besides the Blaze Blue that blew your mind?
it was Blaze Blue blew my mind, and I was also really, I'm only really just getting into Killer Instinct now, but I was really impressed by the Killer Instinct top 8. That especially, I wrote a blog post about this, but this is probably the most emotional Evo ever. Just, dudes crying left and right. But it was cool to see. I mean, first of all, you accomplish a goal that big. It's kind of hard not to get emotional. But I especially, in the case of CD Jr. winning Killer Instinct, that was one of my favorite moments because he's an East Coast New York player, and from day one, when Killer Instinct came out, he was always tweeting like crazy, like how much he loves that game, how hype he was for that game. So to see him become the world champion of a game he genuinely loves, I thought was super awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do agree with you. Everybody was crying, but yeah, if I won, I'd be bawling my eyes out too.
Yeah.
Winning at Evo. But yeah, his performance in Killer Instinct was really good. Like, I was really happy with him. It was an intense match. And it is good to always have someone from the East Coast, bring home the gold. So.
Yeah, and it wasn't just him. And we had, like you said, Sonic Fox actually clean house at Evo. Not only was he kicking ass with that insanely cheap Batgirl, but he did win the side tournaments for both Mortal Kombat and DOA 5. So
really, I didn't know that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so it's really cool because you and I we've seen him. We've been watching him play for probably 2 years. We've met him, we've interviewed him, and he's always he went from the kid that was pretty damn good at Mortal Kombat to the kid that's dominating in all these different games, and now he's a world champion. So that is really crazy, and he's only 16. That's insane. He already has a handful of Evo titles under his belt. That's crazy.
That's nuts. That just blew my mind right now.
Yeah, and then Marvel. It's funny, and you might feel the same way, but I get bored of Marvel in general lately. I don't play it much. I don't watch it much lately, but there's something about Marvel at Evo that's always really special. And this year's Marvel Top 8 Evo is probably the most entertaining I've seen yet for Marvel 3.
Yeah, I agree. I hate Marvel. I don't like it. Yeah, Evo at Evo, I was glued. I was hooked because you're always gonna get the best of the best.
Exactly. And yeah, because you and I, we do our Evo recap videos every year, and our top moment is always Justin Wong having some crazy comeback or some crazy moment.
Yep.
And the sad part is, despite all his sick play, he never actually wins the tournament.
Yeah.
So to see him finally, first he had that crazy comeback against F Champ, and then finally take the grand finals against Chris G. That just felt really good. I feel like that was a long time coming for Justin.
Yeah, it was fun. It was exciting. Like he stuck with his team. It was good because it was almost similar to like Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker's streak. It was like one of those things you didn't expect to happen, and then when it did, you were like, "Oh, good! Like it's about time." I mean, I have nothing against Undertaker's streak or anything. It's just a bad analogy, but yeah, I'm just happy Justin Long actually won it.
Yeah, shouts to Justin Wong. And there were a couple of small reveals game wise. I know
Yeah.
I'm Galaxy announced that Maya is coming to Killer Instinct, who
Yes.
from Killer Instinct 2, I believe. So that's cool. No gameplay yet that we've seen. But we also got to see Raiden in Mortal Kombat 10. So how do you feel about that?
He looks awesome. Like I really like all three different fighting styles that they gave him. I think the one with setting up the traps, right? Doctor Strange or Venom from Guilty Gear, that might be a fun one to play with. I'm really excited for Raiden. He looks good. Like graphically, the game looks good. It just sucks I have to wait till next year. Every little bit more I see, it makes me want the game more and more. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat X is probably my most anticipated game right now. And back to what you were saying with the three character styles, I really think that's a brilliant move because I think they're solving the problem of you watch tournaments and people counterpick like crazy, and now I think they want you to be able to counterpick but still keep your character. So you might want to be Displacer Raiden against one character. You might want to be Lightning Lightning God Raiden against another character. So it's great that you could stick with your character and still have so much variety still.
Yeah, it totally reminds me of like the three fighting styles and like Deception and like Deadly Alliance, but a lot cleaner. You pick one out of the three. You can't blend all three together in like one round, which
Yeah,
I think it's a lot better when they separate it.
I agree, and I like that they're taking some cues from Injustice with the interactables, but it doesn't look like it's gonna be overboard. Just nice little touches, like you get to throw a dead body when it bounces out of the sea. That's gonna be really fun.
Yeah,
And
that one's really cool. And the marketplace, there's that old woman in the background. You could grab her and throw her at the other person, which is pretty sweet.
yeah, and that's gonna
Uh,
also yeah.
yeah, which marketplace?
And I did hear that you'll actually be able to block those interactables, so it's not gonna be like Injustice where you're put in these inescapable situations. So it seems like
Interesting.
yeah. So I mean, we'll see when we actually get to play the game, but it seems like they care a lot about keeping this balance and still keeping it MK, not MK/Injustice.
That'll be for the next game for MK/Injustice when
That
they
yeah,
do a
and that
weekend.
and that game will be fantastic. And while we're still on MK, and this isn't really big news, but Ed Boon said in an interview they were like someone asked him, you had Freddy Krueger in MK, you had Scorpion in Justice, will Mortal Kombat X have a guest character? And he basically said, well, the guest characters are always our best selling characters, so it'd be kind of dumb for us not to. So there's already crazy speculation on who they could possibly throw in Mortal Kombat X.
I didn't hear anything about that. I guess I've been dark on the internet for a while. What are people's like suggestions or thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, IGN had a pretty amusing list. I know Predator was up there. There are a few other characters that some were just funny, some would make a cool fit to the MK universe, but we'll see. Ed Boon said it's probably almost definitely not going to be a DC character because he doesn't want to see Superman's arms ripped off. I wouldn't mind that, but it's going to be something like Freddy Krueger, probably some kind of pop culture icon that they can afford to dismember. So it's probably someone from an action or horror movie.
Yeah, if that's the case, it could be like a Jason Voorhees, or it'd be cool if it's like a Daryl from like Walking Dead.
Yeah, that would be a great fit. I think any Walking Dead character, especially Daryl, that's kind of the ultimate crossover. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe it's just because I've been watching a ton of Game of Thrones, but I think I think anyone from that show would be a great fit just for how brutal the action in that show is. So we'll see. You know, I'm happy enough that the game is coming out. I'm not even concerned right now about guest characters.
Yeah, I'm not that worried, but yeah, I bet they'll pick someone pretty sweet because having Freddy Krueger is pretty damn awesome. So.
Yeah. And so any final thoughts on Evo before we move on?
No, I thought it was good. I'm really happy with all the people who actually supported Evo. I was shocked. Nintendo pulled a 180, and last year they didn't want to support Evo. They wanted to pull Smash out of it. And last minute they decided to let people stream it. And this year they were one of the supporters. Like their name was there as one of the sponsors, which I thought was crazy. But it's good, and I'm happy that Nintendo's realizing that sometimes they need to cater to communities like this so they could get like pushes for like the new Super Mario Brothers that's coming out.
Yeah,
But that was the
absolutely.
last major thing of Evo that I really liked was all the sponsors, especially Nintendo sponsoring. But go ahead, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
No, I'm right with you. Like it's a crazy full circle moment. Nintendo almost banned Smash from happening last Evo, and now they're like, and now they support it. And I mean, obviously they used it as an opportunity to advertise the new Smash Brothers. Reggie had his little presentation, was like, "Good luck to all competitors. By the way, buy the new Smash this fall." Which, hey, that makes sense. But it's still better than them just saying, "Get rid of this. We don't want to see this. We don't want you to stream it." So props to Nintendo. I think they're finally waking up. I think Nintendo in general, I think, is having a huge turnaround this year. When I was at E3 last month, they seemed to have. I feel like more people were excited about what they had to offer than what any other publisher or developer had, and I don't know. I think this is a big. This could be a big turnaround year for them.
I think the reason why it's so popular and people are so excited is they're finally getting to see their childhood characters in HD. You know what I mean? Like they're finally getting them in true HD. Mario Kart 8 looks gorgeous. I
Mhm.
never expected Nintendo. I mean, for me, Nintendo for a while got the rap of great quality games, but graphically, it's nothing really to scream about. Sometimes it'd be really good. Sometimes, it was just subpar. But now I think with the Wii U and the fact that they actually have like high def graphics, I think that's what's enticing a lot of people to come back to Nintendo, like Zelda in HD, Mario Kart, like I mentioned before, like Smash Brothers looks incredible. It makes me ponder whether or not I should buy a Wii U just for Smash Brothers and Mario Kart. But who knows what about Mario Party? I think it's 10 already or
It's
38, whichever one's coming out.
I think it. I
But
think and I think I think one player always plays as Bowser on the gamepad and tries to fuck over everybody else.
oh, that's awesome.
Something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure. Um, but yeah, I totally agree. I think on top of finally seeing all these franchises reborn for the HD era, basically, I just think they finally have the quality of games to justify buying the system. Like, you know, first I was upset about Bayonetta 2 being a Wii U exclusive, but then when I saw games like Smash and Hyrule Warriors, I realized I'm getting this system anyway. Eventually, it's something I need to have, and it has a pretty diverse lineup. You're gonna have you actually have new IPs coming like Splatoon, which will be which looks like a really fun shooter without having to be a crazy violent military game, and stuff like
Yeah.
Mario Maker where you get to make your own Super Mario Brothers levels. Like there's finally some unique stuff coming on top of the expected stuff like Super Smash Brothers, which that itself looks fantastic. And they have the Amiibo toy line coming out, which that's something that someone like me would just buy for absolutely no reason. And I don't know. I think they have at least for this fall, and I think Mario Kart 8 was the catalyst in May, and now they have all this momentum, and I think a lot of people are excited about their system for once, and it's awesome.
Yeah, didn't they see like a 56% jump or something in a week? Like the week Mario Kart 8 came out, like they saw like ridiculous sale numbers, like skyrocket just for that one game.
Yeah, Wii U sales doubled. Everyone wanted their Mario Kart, and yeah, so they're doing something right, and hopefully they keep that momentum going. And I do, but rolling this back to Evo, I do hope that Smash 4 turns out well in the competitive scene, because I know when Brawl came out, a lot of people didn't like it. Melee remained the go-to game, so you know this new Smash looks gorgeous. I got to play it a little bit. It's a lot of fun, and I hope it's the game that the community loves.
I mean, and if they don't love it for like the mechanics of the game, like the roster, is just out of this world. Like seeing
Oh,
Pac-Man, Mega Man, Sonic, and Mario on screen together just kind of blows my mind.
yeah, and those all those dream matchups. It's funny. I've just been getting really into Fire Emblem Awakening on 3DS. So now that there's like 4 Fire Emblem characters in the game, I'm super psyched. There's pretty much a character for everyone at this point. I don't even know who they can still announce. But yeah, that game's, if nothing else, that game has probably one of the best rosters of any multiplayer game ever.
Yeah, I agree. The only I don't know if they announced them already, but when I saw the trailer for Pac-Man at the end, Mr. Game & Watch was there, and then you also saw like the Mohawk tough hair of like Donkey Kong. So I don't know if those two characters were already announced, but maybe that was a hint to like other characters that are going to be in the game.
Yeah, Game and Watch, I don't think it was officially announced. Donkey Kong's definitely in the game, and yeah, there was a little hint. Smash games always have unlockable trophies, and there's a Rayman trophy in the game. I don't know if that means we're gonna get to play as Rayman. That literally means you can basically play as anyone who's ever been in a platformer. So
Yeah, honestly, this game's starting to sound like PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale. Throw some Sly Cooper in there, throw some
yeah,
Jack and Daxter, and Ratchet and Clank. Let's get funky.
yeah. Well, hey, no one seemed to really play that game, so might as well port the characters over.
Yeah, totally. Oh, speaking of Evo and everything, we totally didn't talk about Harada mentioning Tekken 7.
Oh, holy shit! Yeah. Okay. Yeah. One of the biggest announcements of Evo. It actually leaked right before Namco planned to announce it. But yeah, Tekken 7 is official. It's gonna be running on Unreal Engine 4, so it's probably gonna be absolutely gorgeous. And we got that little teaser trailer. We saw Heihachi, Kazuya, and Heihachi's wife. I forget her name.
I don't remember her name, but all I know is Kazuya's pissed off that Hihachi killed her mother. But
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm wondering is, did he just do it recently, or was this like something that happened in the past and Kazuya just remembered, or Kazuya got bored of the things he was angry about his father, so he thought of something new to hate his father about? But I mean, honestly, I was all weekend. I was excited for Tekken X Street Fighter. That's what I was really excited for. And then I saw on the internet they leaked Tekken 7, and Harada was pretty cryptic when he was talking. I honestly thought we were going to get 2 trailers. I thought we were going to get the like Tekken 7 trailer and the Tekken Cross Street Fighter trailer, but we didn't. But it's nice to know that Tekken 7's coming out. But like I said, I don't know what Kazuya's problem is. I don't know if his mother died in the past or in the present. Maybe you know.
I have no idea. So I think I remember her name. I think it's Kazumi Mishima because you need another, Kaz person. But
Of course.
yeah, like I also expected Tekken X Street Fighter. I think most people did. And speaking of Harada being cryptic, he said that he meant to reveal something else, but that the leak messed everything up. So it's quite possible they have Tekken Cross Street Fighter in the back burner, and they're still I guess they're focusing on Tekken 7 for now.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm excited. Obviously, there's no gameplay yet, but it's more Tekken. That's one of my favorite franchises of all time, and I'm just in my head imagining what it could look like on next gen systems is just
Oh yeah.
like Tekken Tag 2 is already one of the most beautiful fighters to me. So to see it brought into the new gen, I think it's gonna be really awesome.
Well,
And
I don't think we're gonna have to wait long to see either gameplay or the real announcement that was supposed to be at Evo. Because remember, Harada mentioned that San Diego Comic Con he's gonna they're gonna have a panel and they're gonna discuss like unveil all the games that he was working on. So maybe they'll unveil Tekken Cross Street Fighter there and have more details on Tekken 7. It seemed like they're originally we're gonna unveil at San Diego. That's this weekend.
yeah, actually, that's right. The trailer said July 25th is when they're gonna announce more stuff, and that's only 3 days away. So if you're a Tekken fan, definitely keep your eyes peeled to all the San Diego Comic Con news. Hope we at least get a little trailer, maybe some new characters. Who knows? But it's funny. I got the feeling of just seeing an old friend when I saw Kazuya and Heihachi just beating the shit out of each other over a lava pit. Like that just feels right to me. It feels with all these new IPs and gaming going all these new directions. It's good to know that the Mishima family just absolutely hates each other still.
Yeah, no, it's good to have things that you know will always be the same. Like you always turn to Tekken and watch the beautiful hatred of the Mishima family killing one another. I hope
Yeah,
every stage is either a volcano or like a slippery bridge or something that's really like close to death. I hope every background for Tekken is like that.
I agree. They could go all out and make the entire game just the Mishima family, and only one to remain at the end. They'll just introduce all these cousins and brothers and stepdaughters and just have a huge battle royale.
That'd be awesome. And then the DLC characters could be like the gardeners and all the other people that work for them and like help them out and stuff like that. And they could be the DLC.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
So Harada, if you're watching, we just wrote the Tekken 7 story mode, so please use it and pay us.
Yes, please. Pay us with copies of Tekken 7.
Yeah, that's good enough. So speaking of just our most anticipated games, I was, after being at E3 and just looking at what's coming out this fall, I think we have one of the craziest falls in gaming in a really long time.
Yeah.
So, to start off, what's some stuff you're looking forward to?
Well, I mean, I totally agree with you. I haven't had a fall like this, I think, since like the fall of when like Modern Warfare 3 came out, Battlefield 3 came out, Dead Rising 2 off the record came out, like Borderlands I think 2 came out around that time. It was like a monstrous amount of games. So this year I actually have already reserved a bunch. I reserved Assassin's Creed Unity. I'm really excited for that game. It's going to be the first Assassin's Creed I've bought at launch since the first Assassin's Creed.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty excited about that. The new Call of Duty I already reserved. I'm really looking forward to that. Ghost was horrific. I didn't like it. I played maybe 1.5 stages of the game, and then I sent it back to GameFly. Wasn't a fan of Ghost, but the new one looks good. I mean, they hooked me with Kevin Spacey. Evolve looks really good. I already reserved that. I can't wait for that. Sunset Overdrive is killer. I'm really excited for Sunset Overdrive, so I definitely reserved that. I've been getting into wrestling, really hard for the last couple of months, so I'm really excited for 2K15, and they also announced Sting as the DLC, so it's going to be pretty cool to have Sting to wrestle with. The Halo Master Chief Collection I'm going to pick up too. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
It goes without saying. I originally wasn't going to get Grand Theft Auto 5, but then I saw a comparison video, and I was like, shit, I have to buy this game all over again. Like, it just looks too good to be true.
It worked.
Those are most of the games I could think of off the top of my head that I'm excited for. There's probably more. I just can't remember because, like you said, there's so many games coming out this year.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you on a lot of those. Definitely big for me in September is Destiny. I'm super excited for that. I actually got to play a little bit of the beta already.
Yeah, how is that game? I'm very on the fence. Like, it just looks like Halo mixed with Borderlands, and I don't know if it's something that I'm going to be really interested in playing.
Yeah, you're not entirely wrong on that, and I think it's a fantastic game, but it's, at least from the beta, it doesn't seem like the type of game for someone who wants to play, like, a really tight, contained story and then play some multiplayer. It's more like, if you want, Destiny's more for people who want to play an MMO that has really tight shooting gameplay. I don't see, at least so far, I don't see the game having any like super memorable characters or super memorable story moments. It's more about just like a really cool world, and you could play, you kind of play in Destiny the way you want. There's Explore mode, which is more like Borderlands. You just take on random missions and you loot and you level up. Obviously there's competitive multiplayer, and then the story is very simple. There really isn't. It has an interesting premise in that Earth is kind of on its last legs. There's only one remaining city, and there's the Traveler, which is this huge ball that you see in all the Destiny ads. That's kind of just dangling, huge ball dangling over the Earth, and it's kind of this mysterious energy source. So you don't know what that's all about. So that's kind of where the story comes from. But for if you're all about just really tight single-player experiences, I don't think Destiny's for you, but it does have a lot to offer overall. Like, there's just so many different ways to play it.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know how I feel about playing a game where a giant ball is sucking my planet.
Yeah, if you're not into giant balls dangling over your head, then it's something. That's something to reconsider. But I think
it's something I kind of try to stay away from.
Yeah,
on a day-to-day basis.
But it is fun. It looks gorgeous. I got to, play a little bit in the office on PS4, and I'm gonna play the beta a little bit on Xbox One. So yeah, I like what I played so far. So I'm picking up that. Most of the games you mentioned, I'm really excited about. There's a good chance I'm going to pick up a Wii U this fall. So if I do, I'll be playing Bayonetta 2 first thing, and also Super Smash Brothers, and maybe Hyrule Warriors. I get that. I got to play that, and that game is, it's what it sounds like. It's Dynasty Warriors with Zelda characters. So if that's cool to you, you'll love it. If you want a real Zelda experience, you'll have to wait till next year. So.
No, I think Hyrule Warriors is actually a great idea. I mean, I'm not the biggest Dynasty Warriors fan. I felt those games were the same thing every year, except they changed the animal you rode on. Like one year it was a horse, then it was like an elephant, then it was like a tiger or something. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to those games. But the Fist of the North Star games are kind of Dynasty Warrior as. So all you gotta do is just swap out the character palettes and give me someone that I actually care about, and I will play that genre. And Hyrule Warriors sounds like a really fun game. Like, it looks really good.
Yeah, and I just hope right now, the only multiplayer that they've announced is one person plays on the TV and another person plays on the Wii U gamepad. And
Okay.
I really hope they change that to at least have 4-player online multiplayer, because that genre is just screaming 4-player co-op. I feel like that's what it's designed for. So, I hope there's more co-op to offer than just 2 players playing on different screens, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when the game hits in September.
I totally agree. And piggybacking on that, I'm actually looking forward to the re-release of Diablo 3 for the Xbox One when it comes to the extra DLC,
Mm-hmm.
because that one actually is 4-player on-screen co-op, which is pretty cool. The one that just came out for the 360, the regular Diablo 3, was just 2-player on-screen co-op.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and that I'm actually thinking about picking up Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition. I've never played a Diablo game.
I know, that's crazy. I mean, I never played them on PC. I was never a hardcore junkie. I played the console port version of Diablo back on the
Yeah.
PS1, and that was about it. But if you like Gauntlet or Baldur's Gate, we'll just play Diablo 3 together.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to, because Gauntlet was one of my favorite games back in the day. There is the new Gauntlet. So far, it's only on PC.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's so exciting. I saw the trailer and I was like, this game is awesome. And it said PC, and I was like, oh, well.
yeah, but hey, we have Diablo for the time being, and that seems like a game that's impossible to get bored with. All the crap ton of content you get. So yeah, definitely like a lot of games you mentioned. Sunset Overdrive might be my most anticipated, if not one of my most. Um, like Master Chief Collection, definitely picking that up. As far as just overall, I mean, it happens every year, but I feel like there's more shooters than ever coming out.
Oh, totally, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Far Cry 4, which looks nuts. Like you
Oh, yeah,
said,
that's right. That's the
yeah,
other one. I reserved that too, Far Cry 4. Thank you.
I figured you would. And but yeah, Evolve looks nuts. I'm happy you're getting that game, because that seems like the type of game that it is looks amazing, but I feel like you really need teammates to enjoy that game.
Yeah, dude, I really hope more people that I know that have Xbox Ones get it. I'm trying to force Urena to get it because I need people to play with that game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play with strangers. I learned that with Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, that's a game you need friends. And I remember when I played at PAX East, I was the monster, and I went up against 4 kids that just kept waiting in line and pretty much spent their whole show just playing Evolve. And I was helpless. Like, they had their strategy down, completely down pat. So if it shows that teamwork actually pays off in that game.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the game in the sense of like matchmaking, but I'm hoping I could do the option where I just have AI helping me and not real people if I host the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, talking to strangers is scary, and I like to avoid it whenever
Yeah,
possible.
at all costs. I mean, look at us. We're talking through machines right now.
Exactly. Yeah,
We
we're
know
too
each other.
scared. We're too scared to we're too scared to even be next to each other right now.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm thinking of any other big fall releases. I know the new Battlefield actually got pushed back to early next year, which
Really, Battlefield Hardline?
yeah, and that one actually looks cool, because I was never a big Battlefield guy, but Battlefield Cops and Robbers Edition sounds like a cool premise, and just looks like a really fun multiplayer game. But that'll have to wait till next year. There's Dragon Age Inquisition. I was never a Dragon Age guy, but if if you're an RPG fan, you have that to look forward to. So yeah, just an absolutely crazy fall. There's pretty much new games in every genre coming out. We also have Killer Instinct Season 2 to look forward to.
Yes.
We got we know TJ Combo's coming. We know Maya's coming. Probably gonna be a whole slew of classic and new characters, just like Season 1. So definitely looking forward to that.
I hope they get Cinder, because it really looked at the end of TJ Combo's video when he was in Ultra Tech and he was like, "Oh, there's nobody else." Like there was a red, like or orangey aura on his back, almost as if Cinder like showed up behind him. So hopefully the next character they announce will be Cinder. That'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see like his flaming lava effect, on the Xbox One, because Killer Instinct has some of the sickest particle effects right now.
Oh yeah, I mean it's an Xbox One launch game. It's gonna be a year old soon. It still looks absolutely incredible. So definitely looking forward to. And also, I mean, I know you know this, but Iron Galaxy took the game over.
Yes.
So we have that the great team that brought us all the all the ports of Marvel vs. Capcom and Darkstalkers, and now they're actually building Killer Instinct, which is super exciting.
Yeah. Speaking of buying consoles in the fall, like with so many things coming out, like I'm actually really considering finally picking up the PS4 this winter as opposed to next year, because at EVO I also found out they're releasing Skullgirls Encore for the PS4 and the Vita, which would be pretty cool. And Guilty Gear Xrd Sign is only coming out for PS3 and PS4, and I was gonna get a PS4 anyway, and I need Guilty Gear. So
Yeah.
I'm already picking up the PS4 just to get like those two major games already.
Yeah, and I think that's a smart idea. It's funny. I always talk about this with friends. I feel like we've reached a point. I feel like each console has so much to offer where it's hard not to get both.
I agree. It's like not reading Marvel but reading DC and vice versa. You kind of need both.
Yeah, and even though it's expensive, it's like PS4 has Uncharted 4, PS4 has Infamous, Xbox has Halo, Xbox. I'm sure the next Gears of War will be great. It's all these exclusive experience, plus you've got Xbox, the entertainment machine, you've got PS4, more of the hardcore games machine. It's like it's really hard to not have both at this point, and especially for fighters. I mean, being able to play Skullgirls on Vita, I think is sick, and also just in general, I feel like getting a PS4 is a no-brainer if you have a Vita, because that gives your Vita a ton more value.
Oh yeah, totally, dude. And I'm a PlayStation Plus member, so I'll have even more like madness to come. Because Sony's really sweet with their PlayStation Plus, so.
Yeah, tons of free games and sales and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's as much as it feels like the console wars are back, and each company's trying to outdo each other, but it's also like I look at what each company brings to the table, and I just want both consoles. So, that's how good things are looking right now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think competition's always a good thing. It keeps people on their toes, and I'm glad that both consoles are really pulling out the big guns. I think it's about time. I feel like last year was a really slow build up, and now it finally probably reached. It's about reaching the hill. It's building more momentum, and once it gets to the peak and rolls down, I think by next year we'll really start being amazed and blown away, and like our faces melting from like the graphics that we'll be experiencing with the games. I mean, all the games that I'm super excited for next year. Like, you like MKX? Next year. You like Uncharted? Next year. Battlefield Hardline just got pushed back next year. I think The Division is next year, and the new Rainbow Six game that's coming out is next year. So
that's probably
Star Wars Battlefront next year. You see? Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's this fall I think we're getting a taste of next gen potential, and then next year is when it just everything just explodes and we really see what these systems can do. So yeah, I'm excited. We are going to be spending a lot of time indoors playing games.
Yeah, which I'm fine with, because I don't really like spending time outside and dealing with people. So
neither
bring
do
me the games. I'm all for it.
Yeah, dude. So let's before we leave off, let's shift gears. I know you want to talk about just Marvel movies and what's happening in entertainment right now.
Yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy movie's coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, August 1st.
Yeah, next Friday actually. So I'm really excited for the film. I don't think it's going to be a movie that takes itself real seriously. I think Marvel is doing a really good idea releasing a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy, especially for a set of characters that no one really knows a lot about. I think it's going to work really well. The formula worked well for Iron Man. Like growing up, I didn't think Iron Man was a really big character or worth getting his own movie. When I heard they were making Iron Man, I was like, really? I was like, that drunk guy is getting a movie? I was like, all right, we'll see. I don't know why they picked him of all their superheroes. And boom, like from those movies alone, now Iron Man's the shit. Like everyone cares about him. He got a white suit on now in the comics. He looks like a pimp with his superior Iron Man. He's moving to San
Yeah,
Francisco. I think he's done with New York. So, the formula worked out for Iron Man. Look at him. He's on top of the world. So I think Marvel's going to strike gold twice, especially with this Guardian movie. And I think with Chris Pratt as Star-Lord is really going to push the movie really well. I'm not too big on Batista being dragged, but whatever. They saved on CG, I guess.
yeah,
I
why
guess
not? They don't have to create muscles. He already has them.
Yeah, exactly. And before you give me your input on, about Guardians, also throw your input in. What did you think of Days of Future Past? Because it's been quite some time. I didn't even get your impressions on that movie.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, really glad we get to talk about it. I love that movie. I thought it was fantastic. I had read Days of Future Past about a year ago now. I read the original comic for the first time last year, and obviously I wasn't expecting the movie to be just like it. A few adaptations are, but I think they really nailed the future aspect and just how completely hopeless and horrible things became. So I thought those future segments were good, and then the core the main first class cast that returned, like Magneto, Professor X, Mystique. I thought they all did a great job. I thought the action was great. I was really into the story, and I'm really excited for the way it set up the rest of the X-Men franchise. So yeah, I enjoyed that film a lot, and I definitely I want to see it again as soon as possible.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie. I thought it was good. I felt there was too many continuity problems, but that's just me really, really nitpicking. Things I did like about the movie and what made me really happy about the film was all the Mystique and Magneto that was in the movie. I'm a big Magneto fan.
Yeah,
So, him kicking so much ass was great. And I think a lot of people were in love with the movie because you got to see a lot of people you haven't saw in a while. Like, Cyclops was there.
yeah.
Sorry if I'm spoiling it for anybody, but you probably saw the movie by
These
now.
the past 2 months, it's been 2 months.
Yeah, Anna Paquin was in there real quick, like walking out. It was pretty cool to see like that whole cameo thing at the end. Like that, I was like, oh wow, that's awesome. And I have to say, the one moment that stole the whole movie for me was the slow mo Quicksilver scene. In
Yeah,
the Pentagon. I thought that was done excellent. Like it
that was
was
brilliant.
beautiful. It was well executed.
And it's funny because I was really not excited about the character. I hated the way they made him look when I saw the previews. I was like, why is he have all these random accessories? Why is he wearing a Pink Floyd shirt? Why does he have
Yeah.
long hair? I thought he looked terrible. And then but in the movie, it just worked. He meshed, and of course, there's that, like you said, the Pentagon scene. That's literally the scene of that movie that everyone talks about. He kind of stole the show. Um, so yeah, it
And
was really good. I see what you mean with the continuity issues, but I still think it nailed the overall spirit of the comic, and
yes.
I am definitely excited for Apocalypse. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it too. I mean, I have to give everyone credit. The movie looked really good. Like when they went to the past, everything looked good. Even like the cameras they were using, the filters they were using, to shoot it, just the sets, everything looked, dated, which is
Yeah,
good, which is hard to do, these days. And I give them a lot of credit for that. The movie really did look dated.
yeah. So definitely looking forward to the future of the X-Men franchise, and yeah, as to jump back on Guardians of the Galaxy, I think you're right. I think this is another Iron Man situation where the Guardians might not be huge now, but I think Marvel's going to turn them into those characters into movie stars, and I think that's going to be easy because you have characters that like Rocket and Groot that are just so silly and so bizarre that
Yes.
it's hard not to remember them. And Chris Pratt looks like he'll be a good Star Lord. I don't know much about Star Lord. I hear
Neither
that
do I.
yeah, I hear that he's not as much of a wisecracking like Han Solo type in the comics. But regardless, I think Chris Pratt has that potential to turn the character, into a really popular face for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yeah, it's nice. Marvel's everything they put out has been awesome. I mean, The Winter Soldier is one of my favorite superhero movies. Period.
Oh
Um,
yeah, hands down.
but
Totally.
now they're really flexing their muscles and taking some risks and being creative. And they've never put something out like this. It looks like a fun mashup of Avengers and Star Wars and all these great genres and moods. So I think the movie's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and I really hope this movie does well because I really feel this movie will open it up for all the other rare, like odd movies you wouldn't think they would make. Like I saw a couple of like waves of movies that they want to make. They want to make a Black Panther movie. They want to make a Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah,
They even want to make a Defenders movie. I mean, they're making the Ant-Man movie, which is another character I didn't think they would ever make a movie for, but he's
yeah,
one of my favorites. Ant-Man's awesome. So I think if Guardians does so well, people will be more open-minded to start going to see these movies for these characters that aren't your typical A-list A-list comic book superheroes. They're there and they actually serve a better purpose, more of a higher calling, in my opinion.
I totally agree. Now they can kind of reach deep, and we have all the TV shows coming out. We have Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage,
Yes.
so Jessica Jones. So yeah, they really have put themselves in a position where they can just show off all their characters, and it seems like people will respond well to it. So yeah, Marvel's killing it. I mean DC, they have some things going on. They have Batman vs Superman, which we still don't know too much about, other than the fact that just about every Justice League member is in it, which is a little weird.
Yeah, the only thing I know about that movie, it went from good down to just straight diarrhea. Like honestly, from all the stuff that I've been reading, it sounds like a shit show. Like
Mm.
it sounds horrific. It sounds like they're trying to skip every part and try to catch up to Marvel with Marvel being able to release blockbusters like Avengers 2, Age of Ultron and stuff like that. Have a movie with a multitude of characters in it. It looks like DC's just dumping it all in and hoping everyone either is on board or they're not. What I do think DC should definitely keep focusing on are the TV shows. Like Arrow has gotten a lot better.
I
I
love
thought
that.
that show
Yeah.
was yeah, I thought that show was craptastic when it first came out. Now I'm hooked. I think that show was fantastic. I'm really excited for The Flash. I'm really excited for Gotham. I know a lot of people probably be like, that's not Batman's origin. Oh, I don't really care. Like, it looks interesting. Like, treat it as an Elseworld. Like, I think it's nice. I think DC has a really good formula. And I read an article about the Flash show, and what got me excited because I didn't like the costume at first. I was like, it looks awful. I'm not the biggest fan, but they said that the costume is going to constantly evolve through the episodes as he becomes like a better hero. So I think that's something great. That's something to look forward to. Almost like a la Smallville when Clark didn't automatically have all his powers. Like each other episode or some seasons were dedicated to like the new powers he found that time while he was evolving to become Superman.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. DC, it's gonna take a while for them to catch up to Marvel in terms of movies if they ever do. But yeah, I think they've been killing it on TV. Arrow's one of my favorite shows. The Flash looks awesome, and like you said, like I'm really excited for Gotham. I don't really care that it's not faithful to the Batman universe. Especially because I'm a big Jim Gordon fan, so to have a show that focuses on him, like early in his career, that's sick. And yeah, it's a really interesting time to just for comic fans in general. There's so much live action superhero stuff to watch. Like so, it's a win for all of us, and I hope all the stuff coming out this fall is good. But definitely, this weekend is when San Diego Comic Con kicks off, so we're probably gonna get a lot of new looks at all these new shows, and maybe see some new shows get announced. Maybe probably see some new movies get announced. So yeah,
They'll probably announce the Fight Your Rifle movie and not tell us, and we'll
yep.
find out through the internet.
It's gonna be like Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. There's gonna be two guys playing us. Did you watch that, by the way?
No, I haven't actually,
Okay.
but I've seen the entire second season of the Mortal Kombat Legacy. I
Okay.
watched it.
See that I have to watch, but I watched Assassin's Fist and I loved it.
Yeah, see, so we got to swap. Next time, I'll watch Assassin's Fist, you watch Mortal Kombat, and then we'll trade notes.
Sounds good, yeah. But like like the Mortal Kombat Legacy series, actually even more so. I think Street Fighter Assassin's Fist is just super faithful. They cast the characters that look just like Ken and Ryu, and actually act like them or act like I think they should act. And there's actually even a great cameo from Ono-san. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, I won't spoil exactly what it is, but he's in there, so that alone is worth watching. And just like all these miniseries, you could blaze through it in probably like an hour and a half. Um, so definitely watch Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. I definitely need to check out the new season of Mortal Kombat Legacy. So yeah, so I think that to wrap up, I just after everything we talked about, I'm super thrilled for Comic-Con this weekend. I wish we were going, but
Yeah,
I will settle for staying glued to my computer and checking out all the trailers and news and Tekken 7 news and superhero movie news. It's going to be a good weekend. So looking forward to all
yeah,
of that.
I can't wait to see what movie they're gonna announce, and we're not gonna get the trailer, and I'll have to watch some crooked, backwards, upside down cell phone footage of the trailer
Oh,
and pretend.
like the Avengers 2 debut trailer from last year.
Yeah, exactly. Like exactly. I can't wait to see like the shitty Avengers like Age of Ultron trailer that I
Yeah.
won't get to see because the cell phone is outdated. But
Yeah.
we'll see. But the future holds a lot of bright things for nerds everywhere, no matter what the genre. So can't wait.
Yep. I cannot say it better myself. Lots of awesome stuff coming out. So yeah, anything else you wanted to talk about or shout out before we wrap up?
No, I just want to apologize for anybody who, watched our show consistently and waited for us, every week. Sometimes life hits you in the face and, you get busy. But we're going to try our best to, keep this party train rolling. And that's why this one episode was so long. We had a lot to catch up in a couple of months. So, yeah, hopefully you start seeing our faces more and more. That's it. Just saying sorry for not being around.
Yeah, same here, guys. For anyone watching, sorry about the gap, but like Natal said, uh, Fight Your Rivals our baby. It's not going anywhere, but life does hit you like a truck, and we have been super busy. But yeah, we're always gonna be here, and like always, we're open to feedback. So if you want us to do, if there's certain types of episodes that we did that you liked, if you want Natal to dress up like Lobo again,
I'll do it.
just just let us know. He'll do it. So yeah, we're always gonna be working on awesome stuff for you guys, and Natal, it feels great to be back. I'll tell you that.
Yes, it's great to be back, and soon we'll be back, but actually next to each other as opposed to computer-wise.
Yeah, that will be awesome.
Yeah.
But for now, I'll give you this digital high five. At for anyone tuning in or just catching up in the archive, thanks as always for watching. This is Mike from Fight Your Rival,
This is Natal from Fight Your Rival.
and remember, guys,
Keep fighting.
keep fighting. Peace out.
Later.